You're watching the Rickvanman channel on YouTube.
It's quiet out today.
It is, isn't it? Rather nice.
So where are we off then today?
Right, we are off to Chiltern Foliat. I believe you know more about it than I do. Yes.
We're going to look at the location where they filmed the Victorian Kitchen Garden, which was a series on the BBC in 1982. It ran for about 3 or 4 series with Harry Dodson, and they took this walled kitchen garden and they recreated the Victorian times there. But the series finished in 86, I think it was, and I have been told the garden has now gone worse than it was before the series. So I'm not getting my hopes up, I'm just expecting a field. So we'll see what it's like when we get there.
What he says.
I feel like I'm travelling back in time to 82.
Yeah. In a way, it will feel like that when you go through Chiltern Foliat, because it's a very oldie worldy village. We've got to go through a little village called Aldbourne first, which is looks like a delightful little place.
I recognise those trees on the right. I think you must have filmed them at some point.
Oh, many times. But look at that sky. There's not a cloud
beautiful
in the sky.
Not a chemtrail to be seen.
Yeah. I love crisp mornings like this in the winter. They've got a butcher shop here, like an old-fashioned one. Sometimes I go past and I see people queuing out the door. Just like being back in the war, it was. Little thatched cottages and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
I suspect they all start to look the same after a while if you've been to quite a few of these places.
They've all got each one's got their own unique little feel to it. This one I quite like.
What's this place called?
Aldbourne. It's got a little duck pond and a village green.
I've got a strange feeling. If you turn to the left,
that's where we're going.
And there's a church on the left-hand side.
There's a church up to the left, up the hill, actually. There's the little green and the ducks and things. Church is up there.
I've got a feeling down there is where Ruth Mott lived.
Oh, okay.
She lived opposite the church.
All right. Wouldn't surprise me, because the next village the next big village is Chiltern Foliat.
Right.
They're still, I don't know, 4 miles away.
Yeah. If you went up that road and there was a church, there was a bit of a green, and there's a house. That's where she lived.
Okay.
This is what's so good about going on to Google Earth. You can visit places without actually being there.
Yeah.
So when you go to a place, you feel as if you know where things are.
It's really useful, especially the street view. If you're trying to find a place, or I do it if I'm going camping and I'm going to a campsite I've never seen before. I'll literally drive down the road.
I think I saw a video where you said, I think it's down here on the left, because that's what I saw on Google Earth.
Yeah, I think that was the Slimbridge one.
But there are other products out there that you can try.
This is nice. Just along here, I think there's a little cottage by the side of the road, and it's a delightful looking little place. Just here, look. Yeah. It's got amazing gardens. In the summertime, it's just a big picture of colour.
Yeah. looks a bit like a bothy.
A what?
A bothy.
A bothy.
A bothy is where the gardeners of the Victorian Kitchen Garden, they used to go to live in the bothy. So we might be able to see a bothy down here.
Okay.
It's like a thatched cottage.
So it'd be quite sad in a way if this garden is just kind of not the garden it used to be.
I'm expecting a wall with a field.
Okay.
Others have told me that some of the buildings are still there, but the buildings have actually fallen down. But I'm not giving out much hope.
Okay.
But before we get to the garden, you'll see the cottage that he lived in first.
All right. Yeah, Chilton's just literally, I think it's just around this left-hand bend, and then we're pretty much there.
And there's a big house on the estate on the left-hand side somewhere. I can't remember who owned the house. It's a shame, because if they had turned the garden into an attraction, people would have gone there.
Yeah.
But I think the owner didn't believe. Why would people want to come and have a look at a garden? And then 10 years later, Eden was... not Eden. What's that other place? The Lost Gardens of Hegedus.
Okay.
That got done. And they get thousands of people visiting.
Yeah.
But by that time, the garden had fallen apart. So
yeah, it's once the thing is once you've lost it, to get it back again, it just takes monumental effort, doesn't it?
Well, Harry Dodson, who was the gardener, he died, I think, about 8 years ago.
Okay.
Ruth Mott, she only died about 3 years ago.
Right.
Is it coming up here?
It is. It's just.
I recognise that cottage.
There's
a little cottage coming up on the left.
The first houses of the village, I think. Here we go. This is Chilton Folia. There's the river on the right. You can see the steam rising off of it.
And then on the left-hand side, at some point, there'll be a great big wall running down the left-hand side. And just before the wall, there should be a little cottage, and that's where Harry Dodson lived. And that must be the road going up to the main house.
I think it's beyond.
No, it's a bit.
I think it's further up.
Because it's sort of in a field. Although they did do filming in the church there.
Basically, the road sweeps round to the right, but we need to go straight on. If what I saw on Google Maps was correct.
It's very quaint, yeah.
It's lovely. I'm not sure I want to live here though, because this road is a bit of a main road, and I'd imagine it'd be constantly sort of not quiet.
And then the garden is on the road between Chilton Folliat and Hungerford.
Here we go. We've got to take this little left bit here by this red car.
Right.
If you want to go to Hungerford, you carry on right. Leverton
Lane, I think it was.
Okay, we're going through some double gates. I don't know whether we're actually going on.
We might actually be on the land.
It's a public road, so.
Right. Well, there's the house.
There we go.
There's a house on the left-hand side.
That's a big old mansion.
Let me get my
house.
camera, because I think we're actually here now.
Do you want to pull over for a second while you get it out?
Let me get a shot of that house.
That's the only problem with these roads, is nowhere to stop. Oh, it's behind the trees.
It's behind the tree.
Oh well.
Right. Okay, just carry on. Let me just do a bit, so. Hello, well today it's a special video and I'm out in the van with Rickvanman. That's it.
It's got to be it, hasn't
I
it?
don't think that's his house though. That looks too posh to be his house.
Looks a bit modern.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I've just had a quick look through the fence there, and it's a sorry sight.
Shut the estate. I wonder if we can go in.
I think we can go in because I think there's shops there.
It's a little business village.
Yeah. Could do with a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So these are the stables that were next door to the Victorian Kitchen Garden, which we never actually saw on the series, but I remember speaking to Harry Dodson a few years ago, just before he died, and he said these were the old stables where they used to get the manure. He said this is where the old stables were, where they used to get the manure. But now, I think it's just like
a business park,
a business centre.
Let's have a little look around, see if we can see anything.
Yeah.
So we've just had a little chat with a nice lady in the shop there, and she said we can still see the garden from down here. So there's a little gap in the fence, so that's what we're going to do now. So what are your thoughts and feelings right now then, Sean?
Well, she said it's not as bad as what you might think.
Okay.
She said there are actually a few buildings still there, which I was expecting the whole thing to be just gone and flattened.
It's quite a mighty wall, isn't it?
It is. Now, what they used to do with these walls is they used to put like a radiator within them.
Really?
So there was a fire in the wall. So here we go, folks. If you love the series, everything might be shattered now in a few seconds.
It's a shame we can't get in.
So here it is.
Can't see a lot, but there's not a lot going on.
Now I'm trying to work out, this might actually be the second garden, because there were two gardens, although that central path there does look like... No, I think this is the second garden, because if I remember, this was the garden that they used for the wartime kitchen and garden series.
Okay.
And the next door, over there somewhere, is actually the main kitchen garden. What I have been told is that the lady in Hungerford owns a flower store, and she grows some of her flowers here, so at least there is a tiny bit of gardening that's going on. There's a polytunnel there, if you can just... I can try and get the camera in as far as possible. Shall we just take a stroll down to the left and we might see something? But this wall is quite a nice wall to have.
I wouldn't want to maintain it.
One of the problems with this type of wall is, he said that sometimes when you get a cold air goes in, it just eddies around the wall, and then it destroys crops.
Maybe, yeah.
And if you know the series, you will know that that is the hill over there where they were burning the stubble in the episode in October, November. This is how much I know about the series, unfortunately. A bit too much.
Bit of a series geek by the sound of it. I'd heard of it, but I'd never really sort of seen any of the episodes.
What is actually quite sad is I can tell you that at the start of July series, the voiceover goes, ever since last autumn, 8 long months ago, the garden has had to produce harvests out of season. We are working against nature. You can't. I was hoping there'd be a gate there.
Yeah.
So I think this part here, this wall here, is actually the kitchen garden, and that the wall down there was actually where they did the wartime garden.
We've got the big old manor house up the top there. So was the manor house anything to do with the series?
No, but the kitchen gardens provided food for the manor house.
There we go. That's about. There's not great views of the manor house, but
Can you see the house from there?
you can just see the top of it and a sheep. Oh, and I haven't got. Oh no, yeah. I haven't got my. There we go. I just realised I haven't got my camera stabiliser on. I've just switched it on.
You can just about see there. That's the main house, where all the food from the Victorian Kitchen Garden went to feed the lord of the manor. Because even though it was an important aspect for the house, it was tucked away. But it's not as far away as I actually was expecting. On the series, it looks as if it was about a mile away, but it's not. So there's the house, and there is where they used to take the food every morning, where the cook phoned down and had. It's quite cold, isn't it?
It is.
I've just realised. I'm starting to lose my breath.
So there we go, a little bit of history passing. It's a shame really that the garden wasn't kept on, because it could have been quite a thriving little visitor place now. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. It's nice to have the kind of the romanticised sort of ideals about what it could be, but
for these type of gardens, in the 80s they calculated that it would have cost $500,000 just for the staff.
Really?
For these places.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got to make the books balance, haven't they? Mind you, the little business park there.
Yeah, that's quite a nice little place.
May generate sufficient to make something like that happen. But there you go. So I know you've been. Every time I've spoken to you, you've for the last several years you've been going on and on about coming to this place, and now you're here. So how does it make you feel now you've been here?
Well, because you can't see the actual garden, it's quite easy to keep in your head that they're actually still over there now, just tending to all the food. So maybe in a way it's good that we didn't get to see the actual garden. There's a lot of cars here. It's a busy road.
Well, it's not been too bad up until now. So one last little look.
But yes, I think this is.
I'm going to stand where you were standing. But
yes, I think this part
left.
Here is definitely the section that they used for the wartime kitchen garden.
It's a shame we couldn't find anyone to let us go in and have a little look in and film.
If you look through that archway there, it's through that arch, I think, is where.
Oh, I see.
Where the actual garden is.
A little archway there.
So that's one of the lean-to greenhouses. It's quite possible that there are actually still some of the fruit in there that Harry Dodson tended to.
Well, I'm waiting for Sean to. I think he's gone off to have a chat with someone on the estate. Just thought I'd take a little wander out here. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Very quiet, very peaceful. I'm rather hoping that Sean might have actually, because he's been gone quite a while now, I'm wondering if he's actually ended up getting access to the garden. Although I assume he would have come and got me if he had. So I think all we're going to get to see of this garden is through this little doorway up here. Now, I've never really sat down and watched the series, but I'm sure anybody who's into gardening may very well have seen both series. I think one was the wartime one and one was just the Victorian garden one. but I get the impression this was a really, really immaculate, amazing garden, which apparently originally started off as flowers and like a real beautiful, visually spectacular garden, which had all the flowers had to be pulled up and burned in order to grow food during the war years, which is a bit of a tragedy in itself. But apart from that, literally all I know is what Sean has told me. So, but it does sound like a fascinating little story in a fascinating little place. And I know ever since I've known Sean, he's always been fascinated by the fact that I live not far. I mean, literally, this is 20 minutes drive from my house, and so he's always been kind of fascinated by the idea of just coming to check this place out, because obviously he was a big fan of the series. And but he did say to me, in a way, I don't really want to see it, because obviously his memories of it are of this, sort of really amazing garden, and now it's just kind of it's just not there anymore. And in a way, it's a little bit sad, but But I couldn't think of any more peaceful setting to, if I was going to run a big garden like that. I couldn't think of anything nicer than being in a place like this, just middle of nowhere. A few little possibly workers' houses there. Very nice. Oh, there he is. And he's filming as well. I think you're right. So there we go. That was.
So which way are we going to go? Which way are we going to go?
Well,
outside.
If
left
you want
or
to go
right?
out this way, I can show you where that bridge is. If you want, have
okay.
a look at that. And then we might sort of hunt down somewhere, maybe a tea room or something, get a bite to eat. That'd be nice.
So that's it. That's the Victorian Kitchen Garden. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. But it was still a bit sort of like tinged with sadness to think about what it could be.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll ever, somebody will kind of.
Well, the thing is, you can still see the structures. There are no structures there. But you can still see where the greenhouse it would have stood. So it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to put it up. But it's just the cost. How much do you want to spend on your potatoes?
Yeah. It's the plan, isn't it? Because you could have a little farm. They've got little units there. They could have a little farm shop or something.
Well, like the woman in the stable said, that the person in the flower shop grows a few flowers there. But the thing with something like that, you should really establish it while the people are still alive, because people would have come to have seen it if sort of the Harry Dodson was there.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been to Barnsdale, but you can go to the Jeff Hamilton Gardens.
Okay, Jeff Hamilton, wasn't he a wrestler?
No, he was a BBC Gardener's World presenter for years and years.
Oh, not that Jeff Hamilton then, okay.
And you can still go to have a look at his gardens now, but they tell me that they've just left it the way that he left it. So they've kept the place up, but it's very much... so we're going to the left, are we?
Yeah.
So is it to the left, down to Hungerford?
Yes. In fact, we might be able to find a tea room in Hungerford.
Right. So me saying turn the left down there that's not actually the way.
Nope.
Right. I was just trying to work out where the train would be. So I might come back in the summer.
Just over there on the left.
Right.
But we're just going to nip right and have a look at this little bridge.
This is the famous bridge where a lot of meditation filming has taken place.
Basically.
How did you find this?
Sort of by accident, and we were sort of told there was something like it around here. It's quite a notorious little bend.
It's a sharp corner, isn't it?
Yeah. Little Coat House. There's an old manor house up here, which they've turned into a hotel. Got huge grounds.
There's a farmhouse on the left-hand side. We can take over
Oh, that's
and do up.
it's a bit dilapidated, isn't it?
How much would it be to live in this area, do you think?
Out in the rural
Yeah.
sticks, a lot. People pay a premium for being out of the towns. You're probably looking at minimum $250,000. That's for like a little place in a village, a tiny little
right.
place.
Oh, I thought we were going to go down that lane then.
No, we've got to park up here,
Right.
on the edge of the thing. I'm trying to knock this log over and keep out of everyone's way here. And it's over there. So I'll grab my other camera.
Let's go and have a look.
And we'll see what's what. But there's this little public footpath that runs down the side of this little house.
Ah,
And
now yes, this is. You would actually go past here because you would think this
Yeah.
is somebody's garden.
yeah, that's right. It's hidden away. It's a tiny little track. You think is a little bit of a path to nowhere, and then you come around the corner, and you're presented with this really cool little view. I give you the bridge. Oh, they've got a tree down. That must have come down in the last winds.
It looks a lot warmer on video.
Well, it's it's probably a lot warmer in the summer. So that's quite. I bet you birds will be making their nest in that before the summer's out, or before the winter's out, rather. But look how clear the water is.
Yeah, I would imagine
You
in
get
the
watercress and
in the
everything.
summer, it's a really good place to come.
We came here. I think the last time I came here, the water level was right up.
Just be careful when you come over this because
Slippery.
it's full of frost on this side.
Oh right, okay.
And if you slip in, I'm going to catch the camera first.
yeah.
Now, I thought this side was actually a lot bigger than what it is. The path.
No. Well, isn't that always the way though? When you see something on the screen, and then you see it in real
I was just
life?
about to say, it's even though I've worked in TV for 30 years, it's still sort of, it gets me sometimes when I go to places and think, oh, that's so small or that's so big or whatever.
The only problem is that I'd love to sort of wander down the lakes and everything, but everything's all private property. There's literally the footpath is just this tiny little bridge.
And in this part of the country, they'll come up with a gun and shoot you.
Yeah, quite possibly. We're definitely being followed by these ducks. Feed me. Sorry, fellas and ladies, haven't got anything. In fact, it's probably a good thing because if you feed bread to the ducks, isn't it? It's probably not that good for them, to be honest. It's nice with that sun shining. So, I've never seen this full before. The water level's always been down.
I was just about to say, it looks rather blue, but it would be because it's just
the sun,
just
isn't it?
reflecting from the sun.
It's like a mill pond.
Are you going to go for a dip?
Normally that gate's open
Yeah.
and this water level's right down. But we were trying to work out the other day, if you left both gates open, what would happen? Obviously the water would be going down there at a rate of knots.
But it would have to go somewhere.
But it's very clever that just the sheer weight of the water would not allow both of these gates to open at the same time.
Right.
You can see the way that they're configured. The weight of the water pushing against that sort of V shape there.
Yeah.
You'd never ever, I don't think, ever be able to open both at the same
Should
time.
we try it?
Probably not. Not a good idea.
I think there's people in our shot.
Is that dead fish?
I was thinking that, but I've come to the conclusion it could just be ice.
No, it's a dead
it's
fish.
It's a dead fish. There you go.
Okay.
We've just We've just won a fish.
It's not a happy looking fish.
No.
It's upside down. This is strange. I've not seen a bridge like this before. It's just like grass.
Yeah.
It's not really. I think it's frosty grass as well.
Look at that.
Yeah, if you stand down there, you can hear a pump, like a pumping engine.
Right.
So there's obviously a thing happening there. I have no idea what it is, but it's cold this side.
Take a picture.
That sun's very bright. It's reflecting off the surface of the water. I can't get over how still that water is. It's like a mirror. The sun's right in my eyes. I can feel the heat from the sun coming up from the water.
Yeah.
Well, I assume the illusion is it's coming up from the water.
So where does the road go down there?
I think eventually you'll end up in Marlborough, which is, I think, what we're going to be doing shortly.
Right.
Take it at least pass through Marlborough on the way home.
I would imagine this would be a good place around about 6:30 in the morning, with just the mist just coming off, because you could just about see it happening down there.
Is that smoke or is that mist? I think that's smoke, isn't it?
Not sure.
Right, should we head back through Marlborough?
Yeah.
Take a little drive through. Cool.
Now, is this the type of place where you blink and you miss it?
Miss what? Oh no! Marlborough is
really?
quite imposing.
You need to have a bit of cash to be there.
Yes. Here we go. Quite busy.
So they have the market on Thursdays?
They have it on one day of the week. I don't know which day.
So it's quite busy.
Yeah. Is everybody going for their January sales?
Oh yeah, it's Monday, isn't it? It's quite easy to forget it's Monday. I wonder if there's a internet signal here. I would imagine so.
More than likely, yeah. You got 3G or 4G?
4.
I've got 4G on my phone, but I've never actually seen the 4G symbol come on.
No, you can only get 3G here.
But this is Marlborough High Street anyway, and it's the widest high street in the country, I think.
Is it?
Yes. And you can see why.
Brightest as well.
Yeah. You can't see a lot, can you? There's lots of tea rooms and things. I think there's one called the Poly Tea Rooms on one side. There's a little clubby old thing, shoppy thing down there.
The problem is, you come to these places, and what's starting to happen is you see the same. You see the same old shops.
Yeah, it's the same old.
Yeah, it's the same
thing.
Whereas, like years ago, you used to go to certain places because they had certain shops.
Yeah.
But now everywhere is starting. Like the chemist is the same here. There was a coffee shop, which you have on every high street.
Yeah. Nowadays it's the same song, just a different dance, or it's the same dance, different song. Do you want to have a quick look at Avebury on the way home?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, we can swing. Literally, it's virtually on the way home if we go this way. Here we go. This is the actual. We're going to cut through the middle of
Right.
the stone circle.
I know where because you parked down there.
Yeah, that's right. That's the avenue coming in on the left.
Beautiful sun at the moment. This is the Iouri Circle, where people come for the solstice. But the road is right through the middle of it. So how did that happen?
I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder if it was done that way for a reason. Perhaps when the road was made, the powers that be thought, well, we can't have all this,
Mumbo jumbo, going
pagan
on.
stuff going on, and perhaps we'll break it up by putting a road through it all. Maybe it disrupts the energies and stuff. I don't know.
There's some more.
Yeah. This is the edge of the circle here. This is the Kingstone leaning over the road, I think, which is a more important stone than the other ones for some reason. Don't ask me why.
It's quite good then, because as I turned, the stone and the sun just hit the
excellent.
stone behind it. Well, the sun is starting to set now, Rick.
It is, and we're heading home, and it's been a really good day, hasn't it? I've really enjoyed it, actually. How have you enjoyed it?
We've only had the one cup of tea, so it must have been a good day. We've been too busy for tea.
Exactly, yeah. But are you happy now you managed to go and see Harry Dodson's place?
Yes, it was a bit better than what I was expecting, and I came away thinking that it had a bit of hope about it. So if people did want to get together and sort of, I don't think that the leap from an empty field into getting it back to the greenhouses, I don't think it's actually that. I think if a lot of people got together, it could actually be done in 6 months. So it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was.
Do I detect a new project on the horizon?
Maybe in a year's time. So.
Right. Oh well. Anyway, I have no idea how long this video is going to be. It might be short, might be long. But if you've got this far and it's a really long one, then thanks for hanging in there. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of the day. And from myself and from Sean, I'll see you next time.
Goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.